host, Tim Nicholas. Tonight I am so excited because I am here in Arlington, Texas at L.O.C.S Legacy Salon, one of the great pillars of the community here in Arlington. And it really is so good to be back in the city because we really get to entertain and really be hosted by with some great Black excellence tonight. So without further ado, it is going to be a great show on tap for sure, right? So we have a couple of newcomers to the show. First off, we have Mr. David Howard, who played in the National Football League for 9 seasons with the Minnesota Vikings, New England Patriots, as well as the horrible Dallas Cowboys. Oh, gosh, I ain't gonna get into that. We'll get into that later. But nonetheless, since his retirement in 1993, Mr. Howard has been involved in starting multiple businesses in the Dallas-Fort Worth community. So, without further ado, we want to welcome him to the show. How you doing, Mr. Howard?
How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're just really going to get into your story and just kind of learn a little bit more about you. And yeah, I'm really excited about it.
All right.
So last but not least, we also have his wonderful daughter here with us. Her name is Jocelyn Howard. So Jocelyn is the proud owner. She is, first of all, let's go back to this. She's a Southern California native. But but it's really SoCal. So she's a SoCal native. Did I get that right?
Yes.
She's a SoCal native, but she also is the proud owner of Howard Coaching and Consulting LLC. So we're going to also dive into her story, but it's really going to be a fun night. So thank you so much for joining us, Mrs. Johnson. Thank you. Appreciate you coming on. So it's a family affair tonight. Here at the L.O.C.S Lounge, where it's a safe place where we talk about different things and different topics in the community. We focus on family more than anything. Family is loyalty, is love, it's all those things that we need to make sure that our mental stays in a good place. So it's really dope to see a father and his daughter doing anything together, and it's really going to be a dope night for sure. So we're going to dive right into it. So I want to go ahead and start with you, Mr. David.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, David Howard, I'm originally from Enterprise, Alabama. I spent the first 2 years of my life, 2 weeks of my life in Enterprise, Alabama. Family moved to Fort Lauderdale, and after 12 years in Fort Lauderdale, we transitioned to Long Beach, California. From Long Beach, California, I always had a love for sports and arts and those different type of activities, and that led me to football, and football was one of my first loves, and I didn't realize that I was going to be good at it, but I started developing skills and started to get a little larger, and I grew into my position, which was outside linebacker, and I was blessed enough to get a scholarship to Long Beach State, and from there I was blessed enough to be able to play 9 seasons in the National Football League with Minnesota, Dallas Cowboys, and New England Patriots, in that order. But before that, I spent 2 great years in the United States Football League, USFL, and it was wonderful.
And so the team, what was that called? The Los Angeles Express, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So 11 total seasons.
11 total seasons. Yes.
It had to have been just a wrecking on your body to take all of those hits for 11 total seasons between the USFL and the NFL. How are you feeling today, sir?
Well, actually, I feel great today. Those 11 seasons, I like to think that I was dishing out the punishment, but I did take my fair punishment also. And, yes, I had some pains growing after my career. And at first I wasn't, talking about my pain or accepting my pain. And I just had a knee replacement. And that was one of the things that, the NFL playing that many seasons, I wanted to make sure that I addressed my pain, but that was one of the things that I suffered as far as playing that long in the National Football League.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, having knee replacement, but still being able to, pretty much function in a good way.
Yes.
So
that was the only one, so I knew you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sure. Well, hey, looking great, my man. Well, let me ask you, Jocelyn, having a father that played in the National Football League for 9 seasons, what was that like for you, just seeing, just the physical toll that was going on in your body, but also just maybe even just life with, NFL day?
It was great actually. It was a lot of flying back and forth to visit him and see him play and train. That was dope. I remember running around the track. I wasn't running around the track, but watching him train and I learned a lot about work ethic, hard work, and you get up early, you do what you need to do to get that done, and just really make sure that you put your all in whatever you're doing. So I definitely am a workaholic these days, thanks Dad. But definitely strong work ethic, moral values. Those are things that I was instilled.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I definitely see the love between you guys.
Yes.
Yes. So, I want to, before we get into, just the story of, the companies that you, and the businesses that you're into, I definitely want to talk to you as well, Jocelyn. Could you just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Yes. So born and raised in Inglewood. I was also raised in Riverside County. My grandmother moved us out there during the 90 riots and whatnot, and I thank her so much for that. It changed my life. I came back to Long Beach for college, Go Beach, Long Beach State. Went on to grad school, and it was a really great place for me to be. I love Long Beach because it's diverse. They're welcoming, they're inclusive, so it's really, really awesome to be in Long Beach. And that's where I really got my bearings. I never really left the Long Beach area. I traveled around and whatnot, but I really feel that's my comfort place because it's so welcoming and so accepting. But definitely, my major is criminal justice, so that was really where I started off my educational path. Did some different internships, some practicums and things of that nature. I did some paralegal work, but I realized I had a grad school teacher tell me, not to get stuck in criminal justice, not to restrict myself. So I started to focus on education, and the rest is history. Really, I fell in love with education and helping others fall in love with education and teaching them how. You have to learn how.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just from making that transition, I'm sure that was different from going from criminal justice and always focusing on paralegal studies and paralegal things, and then criminal justice, and now you're going into education.
Yes.
So, I know that was kind of a shift. Was it a hardship, or was it something that it was easy for you to kind of transition to?
It was somewhat easy to transition to because I was still in college and in grad school, so it was like a smooth transition. Like, yeah, I think I want to do education and teach. But it was difficult in the sense of, you're focused on criminal justice policies, politics, all these different things. And then when you move into education, as a teacher, you're really focused on the student. You're focused on what the students' passions are, what they want to learn. You know what they need to learn and what capstones they need to accomplish. But you want to capture what their interests are and make sure that they carry out, their educational path. So
Right.
definitely a love for education.
Absolutely. And it's really just depositing all that knowledge and energy into someone else and being able to apply it to their lives.
Yeah, and I've done all the way from preschool age children to, teaching at the Boys and Girls Club to, I did a couple of middle schools, and then I felt like on top of my game when I was teaching at UCLA. That was amazing to teach at that level, and it was a dual program, supported employment coupled with career counseling. So that is really where I found my passion and what took me off into the Howard coaching and consulting.
And I'm so excited to really dive into that. So the reason why we're definitely talking tonight, is really around Black businesses into the community, and we have multiple businesses here in the community that are just exceeding Black excellence. So we really want to be able to showcase those businesses and highlight those so that we can be able to bring awareness to the Fort Worth community for sure. So we're really excited about tonight for sure. So we're going to be really talking through businesses and different ideas and just understanding both David and Jocelyn's path into entrepreneurship. So it's really exciting. So as you guys can see, we're in this beautiful salon tonight, L.O.C.S Salon. So shout out to Kevin and Tanya Locks, the co-owners here. So appreciate you guys for allowing us to be here tonight. Because we're in the salon and because L.O.C.S Lounge is, let's chill out in the salon, the barbershops, right? I'll start with you with this question, Jocelyn. It's really about your experience and your first experience going into the salon. What was that like for you?
That was a nervous feeling because there's so many people in there. So some people already their hair is already done, they're looking flawless, and then you're coming in like, ooh, I'm trying to get myself together. So it's a scary situation, but I realized it was welcoming. It was a place, especially for me being raised in Riverside and being away from LA. I felt a little bit of estranged from culture and whatnot because it's a different living in the valley versus living in the city. So being able to go to the salon and feel welcome and be around people that genuinely care about you and maybe know you're not as tapped in with the culture, they were able to take care of you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, right?
Yes.
Because it is nerve-wracking when you first go in, and it's like, I gotta hide, where's my hat at, my hood and stuff. So, do you remember how old you were when you first went into the salon?
Man, I want to say I had to, well, with my grandmother, we went to church every Sunday, so man, it's hard to remember if I went when I was younger, but the first thing I remember was maybe like 8.
Okay.
Maybe 8 to like 10 was my first time going in, and that was scary from mom doing hair to like, okay, mom got me. What are they gonna do to me in the salon? But it was amazing, and I was like, I'm never going back, mom. And staying in the salon, but it was a great experience. Definitely the welcoming feeling again. Older Black women just mentoring me without. They did it in a way where I didn't even know that I was being mentored. So it was a really great experience to just feel that welcoming, and I always came back.
Right. That's great. I like that. What about you, Mr. David? How was your first time in the barbershop?
My experience was a lot different. Being that I was raised by my grandparents, my first experience at the barbershop was a correction that my grandfather had goofed up. You have ever heard of a bowl cut?
Yes.
Where you put the bowl around your head, and
Yes.
my grandfather gave me a bowl cut, and my first experience was getting that bowl cut corrected. So for me, it was a coming out party of expression and learning to be comfortable in my own skin. Because when I came in, they was laughing, but I laughed with them. So that experience for me was something that I really remember as of a place where brotherhood, culture, culture ideas. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember how old you were?
I think I was about 8.
8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll dive a little bit into my experience. It wasn't too dramatic. I just was a nervous person anyway. I just grew up shy anyway. So we went into the barbershop and just seeing all the brothers, and then I honestly thought a fight was gonna break out. I was nervous because at that point I don't think I had ever been around a whole bunch of Black men who just were in there chopping it up.
Yes.
Something was gonna go down.
Yes.
So it was cool to just see, Checker Fred playing checkers, or watching TV, or hearing arguments that really weren't arguments; it was debates.
Yes.
So that's what I remember about my experience the first time. It was my first job, sweeping up hair and all that stuff. So yeah, the barbershop's a great time. Absolutely, great time, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, sure. So jumping back in, when we're talking about barbershops and beauty salons, we even talk about even the younger generation, right? Do you think that barbershops and beauty salons have an impact on the younger generation today as they did on past generations?
I think so. I think so. Even though I come from a different generation than Jocelyn and a little bit before you, but I think it's the same impact. I think that it's a place of expression. It's a place of a coming out party, so to say. And just manhood for me, just listening to older guys speak. You hear some things you shouldn't hear. You hear some things that that enlightens you. So I think for different people, it's different things, but I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think for me and for women, beauty salons are still that place of like a rites of passage for a young woman. Definitely putting money into getting your hair done, so you got to make sure you maintain it, and you carry yourself as a lady, so you can do those things. But I remember, a lot of fruitful conversation, whether it be about relationships, again, how you carry yourself as a woman. And it was a great place for mentorship, and I think that it still has that same feeling for the young ladies now.
For sure. I think so too. I think that the impact may look different by generation to generation. I agree. I think the impacts are pretty much the same, for sure. So we're gonna definitely dive into the business talk. The time of the hour. So we've talked briefly about your company, Urban Village Family Services, based in Fort Worth. We've also talked about Empower Me, your real estate development company that you had. We've also talked about Howard Coaching and Consulting, L.O.C.S. So you have several different impactful companies that I didn't name them all, but you have these several impactful companies. So just tell us a little bit about, starting with, Urban Village Family Services, on what the impact's been, how that started out.
Yeah, so Urban Village Family Services really was created out of the inception from Empower Me Inc. Empower Me Inc. is the parent company. So I'll let Deb talk a little bit more about Empower Me. I'll talk more about Urban Village Family Services. So we wanted to, with Urban Village Family Services, take our clients or our students or participants through a path. So, you're receiving services, but making sure that you receive the wraparound services. So if you are coming in for employment, and again, the program, its mission is to serve individuals with learning differences or economic difference. And our pillars are employment services, counseling, case management, service coordination, and financial literacy. One of the biggest pillars is employment services, and that's kind of where I step in with my career counseling and employment expertise, so to speak, I've been told. But definitely making sure, okay, once you help someone gain employment and they're able to compete with everyone, that you're making sure that they're supported in that role. So many times in the field I've seen it's a revolving door. People get a job and they lose it. And so it became, well, why are you losing your job? Why are you not staying in your position? Are you not satisfied? Are you not able to get to work on time? Is there something going on at home that's impeding you from going to work? So really making sure that we address those wraparound issues to keep the person able to retain that position. With that wraparound piece, Urban Village just began to blossom because we have a team of clinicians that come in and they support, with intake and supporting individuals with different traumas and challenges that they've had that are surfacing now. We also have the social skills that really focuses on making sure that you have your verbiage together and that you're okay in the workplace and that you can transition out of whatever challenging environment you were in and you can make it work in a new environment. We have the independent living skills or the living services, and those are really to help individuals, maybe you're transitioning for the first time into your own apartment and so you have this position. A lot of times people get caught up on the home and they forget about the workplace, so just making sure that all those different areas, financially, are you budgeting the money you make from your job or are you living paycheck to paycheck? And if you are, how do we take you out of that cycle and how do we put you in a place that's more comfortable and more sustainable? So that's really where Urban Village Family Services focuses, is really wraparound comprehensive holistic program. And it stems from Empower Me, which is our parent that focuses on it.
And that company was came about out of a need out of the community. After I had retired from football, I think it was probably about 7 years after I retired out of football, I was in the restaurant business, and through the restaurant business, I had a food and manufacturing company. So my transition from Minnesota to Dallas was that I made it through working and starting my own after-school food and nutrition programs. And so Empower Me was born by a need of serving our youth in our community after-school setting. And through that program, I got into working with individuals with cognitive and developmental challenges. Long story short, it's our 20th year, but it was birthed out of a need for service with significance, that's what I would say. And then from that, I saw that through Urban Village, which Jocelyn is our CEO, we need buildings, we need places where we can house our people, so we developed L.O.C.S Realty, and from there, it's been wraparound services with creating a need to have property so our individuals can go and have green spaces, and we can be self-sufficient at our locations.
That's really awesome. And you mentioned something about L.O.C.S Realty, right?
Yes.
Is that realty company the company that is overseeing that huge 10-home project that you've been working on?
Yes, L.O.C.S Realty have a portfolio of about 35 properties, and yes, we're self-sufficient where we own our own properties. We've been blessed to be able to keep no debt. Also, we've been able to service our families in our communities that may have a need. Jocelyn will talk to you a little bit about that. But yeah, we had a 10 property deal last year that we were able to sell. And there was a process over 14 years where we purchased the vacant lots, we cleaned them up, and from there we marketed them and was able to sell them to families. And now families are in our Stock 6 community living the American dream at an affordable price.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, it's so amazing to see. Just honestly, if I can get a little Christian, if it's all right.
Yes.
Just to see how God is blessing you and how you've just been a blessing to the community.
Thank you.
You know, you and your family have definitely been a blessing to the community, and even doing something like that where you have these vacant lots, you're cleaning them up, you're taking care of what God has blessed you with.
Yes.
And you've taken care of it and you've watched it grow. So I think that's really amazing.
Thank you.
For sure. Absolutely. And so, what we're gonna do really quick, if that's all right, is that we've talked about both your business, all of the businesses so far. So what we want to do is we want to show the viewers just a little bit about what you do, how you do it, and everything. So without further ado, we want to just show you just some clips from when I visited Urban Village Family Services in Fort Worth, and we got a good chance to see everything. Take a look. Yo, what's going on? This is your boy Tim Nicholas here at the L.O.C.S Lounge. Today I am super excited because I get the honor and privilege to be here with none other than Mr. David Howard, who is an ex-NFL player of 9 seasons. Mr. Howard, he used to play with the Minnesota Vikings, the New England Patriots, as well as last but not least, the Dallas Cowboys. And y'all know how I feel about the Cowboys, but I got no love lost at all for Mr. Howard, even though he did play for my rival team. But nonetheless, we're here at Urban Village Family Services. He is the proud owner and CEO of this company, but he also owns Empower Me as well as Stop 6 Realty. So we're looking forward to just jumping in, seeing about his business, as well as Howard Coaching and Consulting, which is run by his lovely daughter, Jocelyn Howard. So come on in, enjoy this time while we check out Urban Village Family Services and Howard Coaching and Consulting. Come on in. All right, so we are back. Man, we hope that you enjoyed some of that footage from Urban Village Family Services, as well as Howard Coaching and Consulting. I'm telling you, they're doing great things in the Fort Worth community, so definitely check them out seriously. And we'll get more information into where you can find them and all those things towards the end of this show. So, we're going to dive into just a couple of questions with our business owners and entrepreneurs. So what we'll go ahead and do is start with you, Mr. David. So honestly, let us know, how did you get into real estate? What was your idea on that?
Well, the real estate was that, I did grow up in the projects in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I always had a passion for ownership, studying and reading, and as far as Fort Worth goes, when I transferred and I retired from football, I did my 30-year comprehensive study, what was going on in the neighborhood, and their plans. They had plans to gentrify, and I wanted to get ahead of the curve, so that was my passion for real estate. I love Monopoly, and I always wanted to play true life Monopoly. So what I did, I just started buying property, commercial property, residential property, high density property, vacant property, acreage, and I just got sick with it, and I knew I wanted to be this philanthropist, you know, in my older years, and real estate was one of those avenues that I know that I could excel in.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So, as far as that, as being a business owner, what's one of the most rewarding things is being a philanthropist as well as a business owner? What's some of the more rewarding?
I think service, for me, service with significance is the most rewarding thing. To be able to service someone and give back to our community, but also to serve and know that you're doing it in the right way with the right intentions.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's not too many owners that look at business that way. It really is about the bottom line, but you really care about service.
Yes.
And really being able to empower your people.
Absolutely.
Knock on wood, I guess, right? But nonetheless, and one last thing I wanted to really ask you is, what does it mean to be a Black business owner?
It's a responsibility. It's something that I don't take lightly. I think more importantly is when you want success, is what is driving your success. In me, it's intentions, and it's make sure that I'm modeling the right look about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I want people to know that I'm serious about the way that I do everything.
Yeah.
I don't take it lightly.
That's a lot to learn from, as far as, you have to know who you are.
Yes.
And you have to be able to stand into that.
Right.
So I definitely honor that. Definitely, for sure. Even just tugging onto that, as far as being a Black business owner, what would you say to even a young Black business owner who's starting out, who has an idea and who wants to, sell that?
I would say, make sure whatever you're into, make sure you have a passion for it. Just don't be about the money. The money is an end result of what you do. And as you go down this road of entrepreneurship, intentions is everything. Put it on paper so if it does succeed, you're able to scale it, and be patient about your intentions.
Yes, bro. So many times within 18 months, we see a lot of businesses fail because they didn't understand that success doesn't happen overnight. A lot of times it's a process you have to go through, and in that process, that's the best time.
Absolutely.
Going through the grind, you
It's
understand.
a way of life. Yes.
It's a way of life. So you get to appreciate when you're on the mountaintop,
Yes.
because you also get to appreciate being down in the valley too, right? So, yeah, that's right. I appreciate that. So, you hear it from a true legend over here.
Yes.
So we're going to talk to his great daughter, Miss Jocelyn. So tell us a little bit about Howard Coaching and Consulting.
So Howard Coaching and Consulting, really, the main focus is taking what my career counseling was doing and bringing it to the streets. And so I've been doing it since 2012. Really made it official these last couple of years. But really started off with just helping people that I worked with do their resumes. Literally, that's how it started. I was already working with clients and helping them build transferable skills and interest assessments and learning about yourself and figuring out your passion, things like that. But it started with meeting a couple of coworkers that wanted to get out of their job and they needed a resume to start looking for that next path. And so it turned into something so much more because it was like, okay, you have this resume. Now I wanted to make sure, what about your interview? Are you prepared for your interview? And when they get the job, like how's it going? And I was just continue to kind of stay on top of them as far as like, where are they going with their job? Are they meeting the 90-day probation? Are you satisfied with your job? Why or why not? They would have issues on the job. We'll have to talk to your manager about those different things. So it really became more than just a resume service. It turned into really coaching. And the consulting side came in as far as a lot of those individuals, I've stayed with them over 10 years span, so to speak. So I've worked with people who are maybe studying to become therapists and now they're licensed practitioners. I've helped them and guided them through gaining internships, completing their practicums, if you will, and celebrating when they get their first client to, okay, we're taking you from an individual now to scaling it up to a business. If you're studying to become a therapist, okay, now you have your license, what's next? You have your first client, what's next? And so really taking them from the next step of, how to build their business.
So how is your clientele built over the past 10 years since you started, and then you've been pretty much official? So
get to be who they are for a little bit of time. So I've helped people, land their first Netflix gig to getting your first client as a licensed clinical social worker. Those things feel really good, and I get to follow that path with them. What was the question?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just as far as your overall growth, how have you seen that over the past few years?
Okay, yeah. So, well, for their growth, it's really nice to watch them grow and be groomed into this professional person. But then also, I get to see the personal side of them, and I know who they are behind the resume, behind the professionalism. But for me, it's helped me grow to really take what I do serious. It's not just a piece of paper and a resume anymore. This is someone's life. They're investing in me and they're trusting me to take them to the next level. Whether it be information, whether it be an experience, whether it be right next to them, guiding them through whatever, whether it's a table reading or an interview or an audition, they really trust me to be there for them. So that was really what helped me grow as a person is to know that people trust me and I need to follow through with what I say and be a woman of my word.
And you actually touched on that. I was going to ask you, what are some core values when you're working with your clients?
Definitely transparency. We have to be honest with each other about what you want and what I see for you. Honestly, community partnerships and just the sense of community is important to me, especially with working with adults with learning differences and challenges. That's where I first learned how to make those connections and help people really get the experience they need. And all of that stemmed from community partnerships, barbershop, allowing us to have someone come in and do an internship or observe someone do their job and figure out, do I want to be a barbershop owner or a hairstylist? And so that's definitely the transparency, the community partnerships. And the last one I would just say that is passion. That's one of my core values is making sure that I keep my passion alive so I can pull that from other individuals.
Sounds just like that. I said, what was, you said passion. You gotta be passionate in this, and I agree. That's your purpose lies in your passion.
Right.
So you're gonna go hard, no matter what obstacles you have to face. You're gonna find a way to overcome them if you're passionate about what you do. You don't want to give up, something that you're passionate about, because then you have to live with that disappointment, if you don't follow through. So yeah, that's real.
People also ask questions like, well, how do I get passionate? I'm like, oh my God, how do I teach someone how to be passionate? But when you take a person through a path of learning who they are, they figure out what makes them happy, what fills them up, and that's when they figure out, oh, that's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I agree. Have you ever felt, either one of you felt as though you did something or you were doing something because you felt you needed to, as opposed to being passionate about it?
Yeah, I would say there's been times, I've had family members that felt a certain way about their child and their learning differences, where I may have to step in and tell them, hey, I see it this way, I agree to disagree, and you have the ultimate say so, but at the same time, my best practices tells me this. So respect that, and and sometimes I had to back away, but my passion, I have to tell them because that's my passion.
That's real.
Yes.
Was it kind of eating you up a little bit in that moment?
Well, when you get 60, you can say things you want to say, over the years. And I'm a student of what I do, so, I'm just going to tell it like it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love what I do.
Take it or leave it.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And coming from somebody who's like, look, I'm 60, I'm going to just call it like it is, right?
Yeah.
Being his daughter, calling it like it is, how is that sometimes?
I've learned a lot from that process because I'm driven by my passion. So sometimes Mr. Howard or Dad will tell me, to just make sure the best practices are in line. Sometimes I want to go hard and long, and he'll pull me back and remind me of, what I need to do to stay balanced and focused. Sometimes you can't let the passion get the best of you. You have to have that balance and save something for yourself.
Yeah. So you're not left hanging a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because passion can be misleading at times.
Yes, it can.
And there's times where, especially for us in our generation, we go super fast into something.
Yes.
without really thinking the overall process. What's the process going to be? If it's something that you can do that fast, then it might be something that you want to pull back on because it's way risky to do something that's not that you're not really thinking through. So yeah, I get that. It's a hard process, especially. I grew up hard headed. So I ended up going 100 miles an hour and then realizing, no, I'm going right with it. And then you have to reel it in. But then as you go through different experiences, you learn to, reverse course and also learn to do things the right way.
Another thing, if I could add, I have to remind myself, especially with my students, your passion is your passion, and you can't push your passion on other people.
Yeah.
You may be a workaholic or love to do certain things, but you have to respect people's boundaries. And so, understanding the person that you work with and where their passion lies and knowing their limitations is just as important as passion.
And also, I think, the man above puts obstacles in front of us, and it's our duty to find a way to go around that obstacle or figure that obstacle out. Then he puts another obstacle in our face, and then it's our duty to find a way to figure that out also.
Constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like there's a new test when you overcome a new test,
Yes.
one test, there's another test in front of you, and then like, can this stop being a thorn in my side? Like this entire process is a thorn in my side. Just let go. But it is constantly to prune us and to make sure that we're getting the best of he's getting the best out of us. Absolutely. So I agree with that for sure.
Hopefully those challenges get easier though, because you've gone through it and you realize, okay, I can use these same transferable skills I used in this setting. It's applicable to the next.
I agree. Yeah, a lot of times when we do go through things, I mean, it's like working out, right? So the more we work out, it's painful in the beginning, but as you do work out, that pain tolerance increases, right? So in that setting, even when things happen, you know how to manage, you know where to go. Like, of course, I always heard growing up, my grandmother always used to say, 7 days without prayer makes a person weak. So, just like those little things that I remember, and I would remember not praying, not really being spiritually in tune, and I would just feel, like different challenges would be harder to overcome. So you have to stay grounded and make sure that you are focused on, making sure that you're continuing to build up spiritually and those things.
Yeah. That's that wraparound piece.
That's the wraparound piece. All right, so we definitely talked a lot about different things when it comes to your businesses. So how did you guys become one and one hand in hand working together as father and daughter?
Well, actually, Jocelyn was doing the same business, working with individuals with learning differences in California, and I was doing it. Fast forward for 12 years, I was like, Jocelyn, I want to go to the next level. What would you recommend? So that's where Howard Coaching was birthed. She basically came in and kind of resurrected the things that I wanted to do, kind of helped me scale to where I want to go. And we haven't looked back, but it's her brains. She's got her brains, and she has her learning style. She's been wonderful because she has the right intention. So she's been instrumental in taking us to the next level.
I love it. Yeah. Love it. Well, you definitely have a great one on your side.
Yes.
So hearing from Dad's point of view, what about you? What's that process been like working with Dad?
It's been a great process, and I would agree. I was in a position, like many people before they become an entrepreneur, they're not satisfied in where they're at. So I was trying to figure out how to pivot, how to maneuver, and my father took a invested in me. Took a chance on let me see what you have going for yourself. Let me see if this Howard Coaching is. Let me see if you're able to support me. I mean, you're doing well with what you're doing there. Let's see if it's something that we can apply here. And again, the rest is history. I feel so thankful. I've had other clients, so to speak, but this was like my first big client. Like with a large business, a business that's been established for over 20 years, so I took that very serious. And it's been a great modeling piece, and he's been such a great coach.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I love it. I was actually going to ask about, what's the family dynamic like at times when what's that like at the dinner table when it's Thanksgiving and you fly home and what's that like? How do y'all flip it on and off?
She's really being a little modest. She's a grinder. You know, this girl will call me in the morning. I mean, we have some apartments. She lives in one of the apartments.
Yeah.
She stays at the house too. But when she's not at the house, she calls me, Dad, are you up? What's going on? What we got going on? Like, Jocelyn, I'm making some coffee. You know, but it's great. Or if she's at the house, she's at the table in the morning, I'm like, Lord have mercy. She's and my wife is like, Jocelyn sitting at the table already.
Oh, man.
But it's been wonderful because she brings fresh ideas, you know, because, you know, there's a gap between generations in with Gen X. Gen X has a lot to say. You know, my generation, you know, we like things nice and slow. We like to be comfortable. And Gen X like to, hey, let's go get it. You know, let's do it today. And that really sparks me. You know, being a little older, it's like, okay, I get it. Yeah. So I love that fresh ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It keeps you relevant.
Absolutely.
It keeps you relevant.
Yes.
Fresh.
Yes.
You know.
Or I say, don't get dusty.
Don't get
don't get dusty. So it keeps me from not being dusty. You know.
Hey, she gonna keep you from getting dusty. All right. So there's a segment in the show that it's going to be called No Cap.
Okay.
So I would love to have you guys a part of No Cap.
What's No Cap?
No. It really means like no lie.
Okay. Good.
You see, that's what I'm around.
You gotta help them out. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're like no cap. I was no cap. No. So, but I think it'd be great because you guys do talk to, connect with, and touch many people in the community, especially our youth, right? You could have someone who could come into your office 17, 18 years old who needs a job, you look at their resume, and go from there. It can be different ways, or, having a family, and then the family can have, young kids. So we want to be able to teach them financial literacy, knowing that mental health, they're human too, so they also have mental health struggles that go unspoken, because they also feel that shame and judgment that we as kids would feel, right? So I think that would be great for you guys to, come on and correspond. And, I think that would be great.
No cap. Yes.
No cap. Hey, we converted him in 5 minutes too. Hey, he even out here saying no cap. Say it again,
no cap.
Hey, we love it. We out here converting ex-NFL players from Enterprise, Alabama. Remember that. All right, so thank you guys so much for just sharing so much insight and wisdom. You guys are the real deal. Seriously. So now it's going to be the fun part of the show. It's called In the Chair. All right. So we're at the park called In the Chair with the L.O.C.S Lounge, and this is like our version of the hot seat with a little shop talk on it, right? So really it gives us a chance to just hear the viewers, hear the guests as well, and understand just a little bit about the guests from outside of business and different things that we talk through as far as cultural stereotypes. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with Ms. Jocelyn, all right? All right, so Coachella or Lollapalooza? Coachella. What is something that makes you uncomfortable? First thing.
A lot of people in one space.
A lot of people. Only one meal for the rest of your life. What would it be?
Caesar salad.
Caesar salad. Dark or light liquor?
Dark.
Okay. What is an assumption people make about you?
That I'm bougie. Wow.
All right. She's not bougie. All right. Insecure or power?
Insecure.
California. Your man in a suit or sweatpants?
I like a suit.
Suit. Okay. Romantically, how many people have you said I love you to?
Oh my gosh, that's personal.
That's a good one.
Maybe
Cowboys or Vikings?
Cowboys.
Okay. Worst vacation spot you've ever been to?
Pehokee, Florida.
Okay. Favorite thing you love about your wife?
A walk.
Her walk. Any woman know what that means. Spiritual or religious?
Spiritual.
Spiritual. Okay. What is an assumption people make about you?
That I'm tough.
Okay. What is something that makes you uncomfortable?
I would say people not believing in themselves.
Okay. What is your worst habit?
Cornbread.
Cornbread? We don't get that. Okay. What is one thing that is off limits to discuss in the barbershop?
That you don't know how to play dominoes.
Okay. That's a good one. I'm gonna say another man's wife.
Okay.
That's for me. And how about you for salons? What's one thing that you don't talk about for salons?
You don't get too much into your family business.
Okay. You hear that? Can't get into the family business. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. We are almost done, y'all. All right. All right. So thank you guys so much for just letting the viewers know just a little bit about you, just getting to know you a little bit better, for sure, right? All right, so before you go, here at the L.O.C.S Lounge, where we're living to overcome cultural stereotypes, what we like to do is really kind of talk through maybe one thing that you give the viewers to think about, as far as a cultural stereotype. What's one thing that we can kind of just say, let's try to debunk this particular stereotype?
I would say that we can't work together. I think that's a stereotype. We can work together. I think a lot of times we don't get the credit that we should get for working together. I think that there's a lot of young ladies and a lot of young men out there are working hard to, debunk that stereotype, and we just don't get a lot of notoriety for it.
I like that.
And trust.
Yeah. So working together.
Yes.
I like that one.
Yes.
What about you?
Cultural stereotype I think we could debunk would be lack of work ethic. Maybe I think, as times have changed, our generation is a little bit different about work, and millennials are very much so more empowered now of what they will do and what they won't do. But as a people in our culture, I think we can have a very strong work ethic.
I agree. I think with any stereotype, there's some truth to it because there is a creation of it, but it really depends on what box that we want to fit ourselves in. We want to say we are going with the stereotype or against it. Right? So definitely agree with you guys. Thank you. All right, so without further ado, just want to say thank you guys so much for just sharing your expertise in your businesses and career. You guys really offer just a lot of insight that that the viewers are going to definitely love and just hear and really need to express and amongst their peers and amongst their friends as well. So my thing that I really want to just talk about, is really about collaboration, family, and communication. This is what I see that you guys unite as a family. So they really are also debunking the stereotype, even when it comes to working together, even from a father and daughter dynamic. A lot of times we will hear, father doesn't know what he's doing because he is so out of tune right now, or the daughter doesn't want to listen or take the wisdom that dad's imparting in us. So it's a multitude of things that you hear, and I'm sure that even having that relationship, you gotta there's no yes man or yes woman. I'm sure that you guys challenge each other, lovingly in that way, but there's always that mutual love and respect for sure. So definitely love to see it, and just really just shout out to both of you guys for that. So David Jocelyn, before we go, we would love to just take a moment and just let viewers know where they can find you at, like on social media or anything Great start for you, Ms. Jocelyn.
Yeah, definitely. You can find Empower Me Urban Village Family Services, Howard Coaching and Consulting, and Stop Six Realty. You can find all of those on Facebook. We do have Instagram as well. We're working on the website. We're allowing our interns to take their time and figure things out and work at their speed, but you'll hear more to come on the website. You can also find us on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. So definitely look them up on Facebook, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. How about you, Mr. David?
She's the same shit of fine.
Hey,
Yes.
she's the woman with the plan. That's the with the plan right there. All right, well, guys, thank you once again for just joining us here at the L.O.C.S Lounge. Please remember to like, share, and view us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok. Thank you guys so much once again here at the L.O.C Lounge, where we are living to overcome cultural stereotypes. Be blessed. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right.